What's up guys, welcome to the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, here for round number 5 I think it is. Yes, round number 5 of the Output Racing League, here live from Watkins Glen International Raceway. Cup configuration of course, because we are indeed running the B cars here. Great little racetrack, one of my favourites as far as road courses go, and not a bad combination at all to test the skill of our drivers here. Speaking of testing skill, Charles Becker and Jerry Glenn in with a big battle here going into the bus stop chicane on the way to the carousel. Looks like Charles has gotten the better of Jerry in this situation. With this being a road course of sorts, we're going to have no full course cautions, which is definitely going to throw strategy at the races here. Everyone's going to have to be very tactful with how they approach this race as far as tyre strategy goes, especially with the fact that there's definitely going to be no full course cautions. Got 40 laps here of Watkins Glen this afternoon for me, this evening for all of you guys watching here from America. Even if you're watching from England. Although I guess England is very, very early of mornings. A good, very early morning to you guys, whether it's like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Possibly even like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So good morning to you guys as well. As we've still got Charles Becker on the screen. Currently, the 95 of Caleb Finn, who is parked off on the side of the track here. Where is this on the track? This is just at turn 2, the start of the S's. He's parked up on the side. Currently our top man on the totem pole as far as the times go, with a 1 minute 10.213, and not long ago just flying by him, the second place car, Thomas Harmon in the 38. So it's probably about that time where we're going to get onto the track, do the pit party, and have some fun with the boys on the track, and I'll be able to explain a little bit about the track to you guys from a driver's perspective. So let's get onto the track and mix it up with these boys, see what we can do.
Pit party.
On your left. Stay right. Clear left.
Now we're going to go meet up after the carousel, which is where we're going to get into order for the pit party. No need to push on the way there. We're seeing people starting to get into their positions. Little quick reset of liveries here. Waiting for everyone to go past and get lined up, and we'll join in on the back. Here comes Derek. Not long after him will be Jerry. And we might sneak up and not worry about waiting so much for Brandon and Josh.
Alright, let's roll.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to be on the outside here for the
Yeah,
start.
I'm going with that.
Right. Clear right. On your right. Still on the right. Clear right. On your right. Still on the right. Two on your right.
Right side, 2 wide.
Still on the right. Still on the right. Clear right.
Alright, there we go, we're at the back now.
Slow car ahead. Slow car ahead.
Three, two, one, green.
On your left.
Alright, now we don't need the radio.
Stay right.
Interestingly here,
On your
Jaren,
left.
normally
On your
a
left.
Mustang runner.
On your right.
Clear on the left,
Oh,
2
damn it,
wide.
we're taking out
Right
Brandon.
side.
My
Green.
bad. Missed my braking marker there, which is a problem that we could see throughout the race. Now, as I was saying, Jaren usually running the Mustang, today swapping it up and going for the Camaro. All these cars are now base content, which means that they're all available. Not sure whether Jaren made a mistake and picked the wrong car, or whether he just wanted to try something a little bit different here. Either way, Jaren has chosen to run the Camaro for this race. And he's currently all the way down at 16th, so whether it's the car itself being a little bit slow for his liking, or whether he's just still trying to get used to the car and not quite figuring it out, we don't know yet. I wouldn't put it past to be a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
One minute, 19.198.
Alright, so let's go through the track here. We've got the S's, turns 2, 3 and 4. Shift up to third in the first part of it. And in between the second corner and the third corner, maybe towards the exit of the fourth corner here, is when you want to go and shift into fourth. Fairly early braking zone compared to GT3 cars and Skippies and all that. These being such big heavy cars, they can gear through the bus stop and then continue on second through the carousel. Gotta wait for what seems like an eternity to get onto the throttle completely for this short back chute. Comes down to this second gear left-right combination that completes the lap. As we see Caleb Finn, actually no, that's not Caleb, that's Jerry Glenn, going off to the right there, hitting the tyre barrier.
One minute, 12.
Brake just before the 300-yard marker, down to second gear. The only place that you can actually get up into fourth properly is on the back straight leading up to the bus stop. Got to be very deliberate with your movements on the wheel. Can't be jerky. If you start jerking your wheel around, when things are going to start going very bad for you very quickly. See the two cars in front of us get the braking zone for the bus stop wrong. Both of them go off the track. There's Mark Pentecoff and Jaron Sanchez. Alright, so next lap around, we're going to do a pit entry. Show you guys what it's like to try and get to the pits here as well.
1 minute, 12.191. Fly car up on the right, keep your eyes open.
You got to be careful about getting onto the power too early there for turn 1 as well. Even though it has all that runoff on the left side, it is very easy to gas it up too early and send yourself spinning. As we get a run here on Mark, can we do anything with it?
Clear left, on your left,
We can.
clear left.
A big inside overtake on him there. Only run off the track a little bit.
Car stopped ahead.
The exit of the carousel here is where we've seen some big crashes in real life NASCAR. One of the biggest pile-ups here at Watkins Glen happened right there. Not a hard pit lane to get into, but if you time it just right, there's a lot of time to be made up. Alright guys, so that's just a couple of laps here of Watkins Glen. Get back into our broadcasting position. Jerry Glenn on screen right now with Mark Pentecoff right behind him. Jerry is currently positioned in 12th in the practice standings here, where Mark Pentecoff is currently positioned in the 13th position. We go completely through the field here. We've got Caleb Finn, Thomas Harmon, Derek Myers, Tommy Bordeaux. Oh, as we see, Wendell Lowe going off the track. A little bit hard to tell what part of the track that was. I have to back it up a little bit so we can get half an idea. That's the penultimate corner, the second last corner there. Carried a little bit too much speed off into the gravel trap and then into the tires. The Mark Pentecoff back on the screen again here. Barry Glenn just behind him. Let's quickly go through the field here. We've got Caleb Finn at the top with a 1:10.213. Then we have Thomas Harmon, Derek Myers, Tommy Bordeaux, Charles Becker, Brian Pizzakemi, Matt Burgess, Joshua Durham, Brandon Bennett, Chris Champo, Frank Isaacson, Jerry Glenn, Mark Pentecoff, Corey Williamson, Jaron Sanchez, and Travis Massier bringing up the tail end of the field at the moment. Still a couple cars that are in the pits that haven't come out and laid laps down yet. About 3 of them to be exact. Wendell Lowe in the 022 is one of them. Here's Wendell out on track. Let's have a quick little look at his stats here. Wendell is an A-Class 3.31 driver with a 1236 I rating. So he's a little bit down there as far as I rating goes, but hopefully today he might be able to find something here at Watkins that is to his liking. Let's watch now as Wendell goes around the track and see how he does. Wendell's looking pretty smooth right now. As Wendell starts making his way to the final corner. Let's see what time Wendell can put up onto the board. Wendell crosses the line and it is a 1 minute 13.711, which means that Wendell is currently propping up the timetable. It's alright because it's very possible that he could improve here. We'll have a look at some of the other people on track. We've got Frank Isaacson here in the 24 car, currently in 12th. He's surrounded by Charles Becker, Brandon Bennett, and I think that is Tommy Bordeaux at the back there. Let's go and have a look back at Tommy. Tommy running very wide there through turn 1. Just clipping the grass on re-entry back to the track. That will be worth a incident point. And everyone is well versed in this league. Incident points do accumulate. You only get 17 incident points and then you get disqualified. Let's go back to focusing on Frank a little bit here. I don't think we've covered Frank for this yet. Go and have a look at his stats. Frank is a 1321 D class 2.53. That's not good at all. I think Frank might have lost his license there in the recent shift in seasons. So he's dropped down to D class license. That's not too terribly good for Frank. Hopefully, actually no. I just remembered this is road course. So it goes off your road course license as Frank goes sideways and into the pit entry there with a spin. These camera angles are absolutely fucking terrible. Alright, so we might have to change a couple of these camera angles on the fly. So, the broadcast might get a little bit stuttery here, guys. Just as I open up some things to get a little bit of the camera angles fixed. See what we do to fix a few of them here. Oh, Charles Becker getting into the grass on the exit of the carousel, going for a ride into the wall. Big Gerald West on screen now as well. A little bit crazy because we've got almost everyone on track now. Let's see how these camera angles do for now. I think we've got most of them sorted out here. Oh, as we see the 54 Derek Myers going for a spin going through the S's there, going up the hill. Those S's are really deceptively difficult. You see Brian Chambliss on the screen. He's actually still a rookie on road courses. Have a look at Brian's stats here for road courses. He's a 1257 I rating, rookie license 2.76. And normally you wouldn't be able to see a rookie's I rating, but with the power of sim racing apps we can. And whoever that was just in front of him, I think that was Gerald West. It was Gerald West. Went off the track in very unceremonious circumstances. Have a look at this in slow-mo. It comes up to the braking zone. All is looking well at the moment. Gets a he gets very loose on the turn in and overcorrects it almost immediately. Then he just says, yeet, and I'm going home. And I just clicked a button that was the wrong button to click. We've also got Justin Botello in here, I've just seen. There he is, the 20 car. He's only a C-Class license here on the road course side of things with a 1578 I rating. It's interesting to see the differences in everyone's I rating compared on road to oval. Sorry, yeah, road to oval. Looks like Tommy Bordeaux, absolutely master of everything, has a 4708 I rating here on the road courses, which absolutely eclipses everyone else here by over 2,000. In fact, over 3,000. There's no one else even close to Tommy Bordeaux right now. We do have a couple of A-Class drivers spread throughout the field though. A couple of C-Class drivers as well. Only 2 B-Class drivers, as we see some definite kerfuffle there. What just happened? So here with Gerald West. He hits the wall. Who's that behind him? Is that Derek? That was Derek. Derek going for a Spider-Man move up along the wall in turn 3 after tapping the wall in the transition of 1 and 2. Oh. Tony Hawk, skateboarder, eat your heart out. What has just happened there? The thing's touching buttons and I don't like it. Oh, so we see, I thought that was Brian Pizzicami there, just tapping the wall rather gently. Looked like Jaron Sanchez was trying to get a livery going on this car. He exited the session and came back in. It looks like his livery's still not loading yet. Yeah, no, he's still just got the black car going. Believe it or not, he is still actually number 4. You just can't see it. We see some hard battling here from Derek Myers and Gerald West again. Pretty sure these two are teammates in some form or another. Doesn't mean that they're going to be taking it easy on each other in any way, shape or form. Oh, as we see Jaron going around. It's going to be really hard to keep up with the action here at Watkins Glen. The action's just going to be sporadic and happening everywhere. Also guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break right now. It's almost time for qualifying. We're looking at so many different things that snuck up on us. But when we come back, we'll be qualifying here in the Watkins Glen race, round 5 of the Output Racing League. Alrighty guys, we are back. It looks like someone might have made a mistake, and it looks like we're doing a standing start here for the Output Racing League. We're going to have in the starting positions Chris Champo in the 2-car on pole with Derek Myers on his outside. Then we're going to have Thomas Harmon in the 38 car starting out P3 with Tommy Bordeaux on the 57 out of 4, 95 of Caleb Finn out of 5, Charles Becker in the 16 out of P6. We're going to have Justin Botello in the 20 out of 7th. Now 20 and out of 8 will be the 21 of Brian Chambliss. 9th will be the 12 of Matt Burgess, with 10th being the 72 of Joshua Durham. Jerry Glenn will start out of 11th with the 24 of Frank Isaacson out of 12th. The 1 of Brandon Bennett will be out of 13th with the 022 of Wendell Lowe out of 14th. League owner and operator Jaron Sanchez out of 15th with Travis Massio in the 13 out of 16th. Mark Pentecoff out of 17th. Corey Wilson in the 81 car will be out of 18th. Gerald West will be starting out of 19th with the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi out of 20th, and starting at the very back of the bus will be the 18 of Brian Beach. Only the top 12 are eligible for the Hard Charger Award here. Got to qualify within 2 seconds of the leading time, and it looks like that was not reached here. Oh wait, no, 3 seconds for road courses, my apologies. So the top 17 are eligible for the Hard Charger, and we are off and racing here in the Output Racing League. Looks like some people didn't get started there. It's a big kerfuffle in the back of the pack. Look at these guys just all packed up here. I think everyone was expecting there to be a pace lap, but no one was expecting it to be a standing start. It looks like everyone managing to get away a little bit nicely here at the moment. We're going to go and join him back in the front of the field to see what's going on. Chris Champo has got the lead, but he's under heavy pressure here from Derek Myers and Tommy Bordeaux. Even Thomas Harmon right up in there. Derek going for a big dive on the entry to the bus stop, and he's taken out Chris Champo. Oh, that is unfortunate for Chris. Derek Myers there with the contact and losing a lot of time here. Went for a big dive bomb, and it didn't pay off for him whatsoever. This is going to promote Tommy Bordeaux and Thomas Harmon up into the lead of this race. Tommy Bordeaux in first, Thomas Harmon in P2. Tommy is a very skilled driver here on the road course side of things, and he is definitely going to try and take this advantage now that he's got the clean air in his face. Thomas Harmon not wanting Tommy to get the domination that he usually always gets. He'll be wanting to do something about it, but Tommy Bordeaux definitely extending his lead right now. It's already out to over a second. So Tommy Bordeaux looking at running away with this race as things are going to start stringing out here. We're going to just focus on crashes here and see where iRacing will take us. Right now, it's got us on a 95 of Caleb Finn, who has got a little bit of a battle going on here with the 13 of Travis Massio. Got another little move going on here as well. The 98 of Jerry Glenn getting a nice pass on the 20 of Justin Botello going into the bus stop. Looks like this is where all the action's going to be. We're going to stay focused on this little grid back here. We got Brandon Bennett in the 1. We've also got Corey Wilson, Brian Pizzakemi, and Mark Pentecoff there. These guys all bunched up very nicely here, just having their own little battle. Brian Beach just up ahead of them. Looks like these guys are starting to string out now as well, as we see Brian Beach getting a little bit sideways. Same with Mark Pentecoff off of that exit curve of the final corner. Oh, and Brian Beach getting loose again, getting a tap from behind by Brandon Bennett. Corey Williamson taking to the grass to avoid And now he is stuck on the side of Brandon Bennett as they're going up through the S's. Looks like Corey Williamson going to take that position away from Brandon. Can Brandon do anything to get the position back? He's got the run, going into the bus stop, going to the right to the inside, taking all the curb he can, leaving as much room as he can for Corey. And it looks like he's going to take that position back. Brian Pizzicami in the 78 car almost coming unstuck there. In fact, he has dropped a lot of time right now on the grass of the carousel. That is unfortunate for Brian. But that is some of the harsh breaks that happen here racing on the road course. I'm going to go back to focusing on crashes and see where it's going to take us. We've got a battle up here for what is about the 10th position. Gerald West and Travis Masia. Gerald just taking the 10th position. It looks like Gerald's starting to pull away from Jerry right now. Those guys debuted at the same time. Gerald has gone on to see more success than Jerry, but Jerry still equally as good as a driver. Looks like he's sporting a little bit of damage there on his left rear of the car, and he is almost falling into the clutches of the 20 of Justin Botello. And we got a car around the 54 of Derek Myers. It looks like the 95 of Caleb Finn was also involved there. Gonna have to go back and see what's happened. Oh, Derek Myers getting loose in the second last corner. Oh, almost catching out that car there. I'm not sure who that was. And oh, Caleb Finn nowhere to go, having a battle with Frank Isaacson into the fence. That's going to see Caleb Finn in the pits, Corey Williamson and Brian Beach also in the pits there. A little bit of drama going on here right now. I'm not sure what's happened to Corey Williamson and Brian Beach, but they look like they have already gone a lap down. So let's see if maybe we can see what's happened to these guys. See Corey Williamson, oh, going too deep into the bus stop, getting it wrong, and Brian Beach being collected as a part of that. Chris Champeau getting a piece of that as well. Oh no. So that's what's happened to those guys. That's their story. This is going to be a very long 40 laps indeed. And tempers are going to be flaring by the end of this one. Oh, and something's happened at the front. We've got a change for the lead. I'm not sure where it's happened or how. Thomas Harmon now has a 1 second lead over Tommy Bordeaux. Brian Chambliss is just 3 seconds back from these guys. But Tommy Bordeaux, in his infinite wisdom, has somehow lost the lead to Thomas Harmon there. And while we got this little bit of a break in the action, if you're watching this on the YouTube side, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you're watching over here on the Twitch, don't forget to give the page a follow. Your support means a lot to us here at the Aussie Sim Commentator channel and the Output Racing League. And if you'd like to get involved in these races, go to outputracing.com. Link in the description on the YouTube. As we are now working lap 7 of 40, we still got a very long way to go here. And it looks like Thomas Harmon is actually pulling out the lead here. It's over 2 seconds now as they head into the bus stop. So Tommy Bordeaux might have a little bit of damage on his car, does he? Let's have a look, see. No damage. It looks like he might just be taking it easy, conserving his tyres a little bit. He's running a little bit slower than he normally would. Let's go and focus on crashes again here. We see Brian Pizzakemi in his own little space. We got the 022 of Wendell Lowe on the outside of the carousel. That's not where you want to be. But he is chasing on the tail of... Actually, no, he's being chased by Jerry Glenn here. These guys are battling for 8th and 9th. And Jerry going through the inside on the final corner, thinking better of it. Just showing the nose, trying to make Wendell make a mistake. Wendell holding on though. As we now see the 24 of Frank Isaacson. Still holding on quite nicely right now to what is a 5th position. One of the highest positions I've seen him in for a long time. And if he manages to hold on here, if my calculations are about correct, he's still... Yeah, he would be the hard charger if he can hold on to 5th. But if he gets past here by Matt Burgess, then he'll be tied for the hard charger award with Wendell. But Frank would get it because of outright finish position. As the leaders are now on lap 9 of 40. The fast lap of the race so far is an 11.341 set by Tommy Bordeaux. The fast time for this lap, as everyone's making their way across, is actually currently set by Caleb Finn at an 11.5. The leaders right now, out of everyone else, are running the fastest times. Thomas Harmon a 12.081 and Tommy Bordeaux a 12.139, which is miles faster than almost everyone else on track right now. As we see the battling starting to get fierce here between Frank Isaacson and the 12 of Matt Burgess. Frank gives the position to Matt, even though Matt ran wide and got into the wall there on the exit of the S's. They're also catching up to the lap car of Brian Beach. Frank Isaacson also looking like he's going to give up the position to Gerald West. Thinks better of it for now. He might battle it out with Gerald, because this is technically him battling for the hard charger award, because Wendell Lowe, who is just behind him now on track, is currently going to be the hard charger. As they come across the line, Frank has definitely slowed up a little bit here. Frank dropping from 5th to 7th there on that lap. Gonna go back to scanning the whole field here right now. Looks like we've landed on Gerald West, who is just in front of Frank right now. Running the Chevrolet by the looks of things. The beautiful thing about the new build, guys, is that all these cars are now base content with your iRacing subscription. So if you haven't got your iRacing subscription yet, make sure you go out and get that. Send me a whisper here on Twitch to use my referral code, and it won't get you a bonus, but you might end up with a couple of iRacing tokens out of it. It looks like things are definitely starting to string out right now. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be back with some more racing action here from the Output Racing League. Alrighty, we are back with the racing action now, and just as we came back and swapped back over to Gerald West, but this is the battle we want to look at. The 78 of Brian Pizzicami going very deep into turn 1 on the inside of Travis Massio, and they've both fallen victim to the 95 Caleb Finn, who was actually a lap down after the contact that he had suffered with the 54 of Derek Myers. We're still actually on track and in front of this battle that's currently going on. Brian Pizzicami looking very strong right now. He's up into the 14th position at the moment after starting 20th. But still trying to make the charge up the field a little bit here. As we saw him just get a little bit sideways on the entry to the carousel, carrying a little bit too much speed, going a bit wide there. Hopefully he can reel it back in and get some good results going here. Someone that I wasn't expecting to see this far back was actually the 20 of Justin Patello. Justin down in the 12th position right now. Not looking like he's doing too terribly much right at the moment. But hopefully he'll start to improve very shortly here and start working his way through the field. Maybe use a little bit of pit strategy to help him out there. We're going to go back to just focusing on crashes to see where iRacing will end us up. It looks like it's mostly just swapping between these certain 3 cars. Justin Patello is being hunted right now by Caleb Finn, who is on fresh tyres after getting some repairs done. Now we've got the 86 and the 12 locked in some battle as well. 86 of Gerald West battling it out with a 12 of Matt Burgess. This is for the 5th position. Matt pulls over and lets Gerald have it. Gerald with a lot of speed right now, still not matching the times of the leaders, but he is there or thereabouts. Speaking of the leaders, the last couple of laps I've noticed Tommy Bordeaux has actually been picking away at the lead of Thomas Harmon there. He's just been going slightly faster here and there to the tune of about 0.3 a lap. And he's definitely started to bring that lead down. Let's see how it is visually. You see Thomas Harmon going through the bus stop here. And Tommy Bordeaux is right there behind him. That gap has definitely closed up quite a bit here. Let's see where it's at when they cross the line. Out of the final corner, these guys are just smooth operators. 100%, just taking it nice and easy. The cross line's about 2.3 seconds of a gap there. We're going to go back to focusing on crashes again here real quick. Looks like Brian Pizzicami started to catch up to Caleb Finn and Justin Patello here. Justin running a little bit wide on that second last corner, allowing Caleb Finn up on his inside, and also allowing the 78 of Brian Pizzicami to close in on him. He gets a little bit loose out of the final corner, which has allowed the 95 of Caleb Finn to properly get around him this time. And now Justin's going to have to worry about the 78 of Brian Pizzicami right on his tail. Caleb just plucking away at the moment, holding on to some narrow track position here because it's not for actual position. Justin looked like he's struggling a little bit here with his tyres, ran a little bit wide on the exit of the final part of the S's. Brian Pizzicami with a very easy overtake before they get into the bus stop, and Justin Patello has gone around. He's gathered it back up and kept going, but that will still be worth a slowdown there. That is very unfortunate indeed for Justin Patello. Down in 13th position, almost 14th, with Travis Massey being right there behind him. But the car control of Justin Patello to manage to get it back spun around and going again, absolutely incredible. As we're going to go back to focusing on crashes, it looks like we might be stuck on Justin here for a little bit because his car is looking very loose indeed. And as I say that, we're on the battle between the 98 of Jerry Glenn and the 24 of Frank Isaacson. Frank was looking very threatening there in the S's as they were coming through this section. It looks like Wendell Lowe has decided to go in for a pit stop. I'm not sure what the fuel load is like here for a run. How many laps it would last, that is. But I'm expecting at least 2 pit stops here in this race. The smart money would have the pit stops coming at lap 17 and 32. Oh, as Jerry Glenn just got a little bit of a hurry up there from Frank Isaacson. Frank going very wide in turn 1 as well. I think Frank might have missed his braking marker there a little bit. Let's have another look at that. Oh yeah, Frank very missed his braking marker and runs incredibly wide there. It was almost all the way to the tyre barrier. Frank has got it gathered back up again, but he's into the grass in the bus stop. I think Frank's tyres are just about off the cliff. Smart money would say pit this lap. And then maybe pit again in about 10 laps time. Doesn't look like there's going to be any takers at the moment. Caleb Finn now with the inside move on Frank, getting a little bit loose there in the braking zone, forcing Frank up off the track. Caleb is a lap down car and he's doing that to lead lap cars, and that has actually cost Frank the 9th position there. Derek Myers gets up on his inside. Even though Caleb is a lap down, he's not taking any prisoners. He doesn't care who you are or what position you're in. Ryan Pizzicami just off behind this pack a little bit here. We saw Derek Myers there getting a little bit wide coming out of the carousel now. These guys are fighting incredibly hard for whatever they can get. They're pushing their tyres to the absolute limits of grip limitation. And this could be a very interesting 3-way battle for 9th position. Also, currently for anyone playing at home, the man in the box seat for the Hard Charge Award is currently the 72 of Joshua Durham, who is currently in the 4th position. Also having a quick little look at my timing monitor, we got a little bit of a battle starting to brew here for the lead. Tommy Bordeaux has caught up to Thomas Harmon. There is only about half a second in it right now, as you guys can see from the timing monitor there at the top of the screen. Tommy looking very threatening here in Thomas's mirrors right now. Thomas will be wanting to not make a single mistake, because if he does, he knows that that's all it's going to take for Tommy to go around him. Looks like we've got Brian Chambliss in the pits right now as well. Tommy with an excellent run through the opening part of the bus stop chicane there. Into the carousel, Thomas staying as close to that ripple strip as he can, swings out a little bit wider than Tommy Bordeaux. Tommy must have been saving his tyres earlier, because he is starting to charge now. I think Thomas's tyres might be starting to go off a little bit here. As we are at lap 20, it looks like we're going to have both cars coming into the pits, so they're doing an even 50-50 split. So we're just going to follow with these guys for a second to see where they're going to come out. We've actually had a few cars coming into the pits. But J-Bo's actually going a lap down without going into the pits. I'm going to have to check that out here in a second, because that's a little bit weird. He does appear to be on track, but he's a lap down. We're going to see how these guys go when they're coming out of the pits, and then we're going to go check out on J-Bo's situation. Thomas Harmon easily out of the pits first. And he's got it with some margin. Tommy Bordeaux might not have been lined up in his pit box there properly. Let's go and have a look at Justin. We seem to have lost Justin. Justin taking the boot. Why did Justin take the boot? Let's have a look from the gyro cam inside the car. He just says, I don't want to be on this planet anymore, and starts taking the boot. Hey, he actually stops the car here. Not sure what's going on with Justin at all right now. See if we can zip through this a little bit, see if he's... What? Justin trying to launch himself into orbit because he doesn't want to be on the planet anymore. Only ending up on his roof. We join back with the live action now. Got Brian Chandler's here in fourth, dealing with some lap traffic. He's got Jaron Sanchez right in front of him. Matt Burgess for a brief minute there. Oh, starting screen. This is what happens when I try to press buttons randomly. Justin, come into the Discord, man. Let's have a chat. But see, this is what happens when I don't pay attention to what's going on the stream. Because I'm looking at what's going on in the app. Let's see, we've still got Thomas Harmon in the lead of the race right now. These guys are still very close to each other on the track. Looks like everybody has made at least one pit stop here. Matt Burgess being the latest of the pitters, just one lap ago. And Tommy is right on Thomas Harmon's tail right now. What's going on here is only 16 and a half laps left to run in this race. These guys are going to be putting it all on the line to try and get the win. Thomas doesn't want Tommy to get another road course win, and Tommy just wants to dominate. I remember the first time we did a road course that we broadcasted, it was at Mosport in the trucks a couple seasons ago. Tommy Bordeaux absolutely dominated without even thinking about it. It looks like we've lost Wendell. Let's go back and see if we can see what's happened to Wendell here. And he's just fallen off the face of the earth from the pits. Maybe he can come into the Discord and enlighten us on what's going on. Lost it in one. That's the official word coming through. These guys still going at it for the lead right now though. Tommy Bordeaux is not letting Thomas get away in any way, shape or form. Thomas looks like he's looking after his tyres a little bit more on this run. Wants to have something to fight with when it comes to the end of the race. While these guys are still a little bit nose to tail here, we're going to go for one more commercial break, guys. When we come back, we will have the conclusion of this race here in the Output Racing League Season 3 2019 from the Watkins Glen Raceway. And as I say that, the 57 Tommy Bordeaux just getting to the wall a little bit there on a transition to turns 3 and 4. Looks like his car's all right at the moment. Let's have a look at the right side of his car because that's where the damage will be. The car is a little bit scraped up. But that's nothing that won't buff out, honestly. Alright guys, we're going to go for a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the conclusion of this race, so make sure you stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we are back with the live racing. We're still looking at the leader here, Thomas Harmon. It looks like that damage that Tommy Bordeaux got might have started to affect him a little bit there, losing about 3/10 on that lap to Thomas Harmon. The gap is looking visibly bigger to what it was before he hit the wall. Thomas currently trying to work over the lap car, or the soon-to-be lap car of Charles Becker. Currently the last car on the lead lap. At the moment, he's doing it to no avail whatsoever. See if we can see what else is going on around the track here. We've got Thomas Harmon in the lead, Tommy Bordeaux in P2. P3 we're going to have the 21 of Brian Chambliss. P4 we're going to have the 72 of Joshua Durham. P5 will be the 86 of Gerald West. P7 is the 12 of Matt Burgess. P8 is the 1 of Brandon Bennett. P9 is the 54 of Derek Myers. Still sporting some damage on that car. P10 will be the 98 of Jerry Glenn. You know, P9 is Jerry Glenn. P10 will actually be the 24 of Frank Isaacson. You're just a little bit behind Jerry there. P11 will be the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi. P12 will be the 2 of Chris Champeau. Very heavily damaged car there, involved in quite a few incidents. P13 will be the 13 of Travis Massia. Charles Becker in the 16 car will be 14th. And he has fallen victim to our leaders now. Both of them have gotten around him. We go back to focusing on crashes. Actually, let's just ride on board. Not this lap, but next lap. We're going to go and ride on board with the 38 Thomas Harmon here. Wait till he's come out of the final corner to jump into his car. And when he crosses the line, we're just going to have a mere 10 laps left in this race. 10 laps for Tommy Bordeaux to try and make something out of this. As he now rounds the final corner. They make the run up to the line. 10 laps to go. Down the second gear. Nicely onto the accelerator there, nice and smooth. Not pushing the car too much in the S's here, feathering the throttle where he needs it. Running a little bit wide there on the fourth corner. Nice early braking zone for the bus stop. Not stressing the tyres out so much whatsoever. And still managing to catch up to the 022 of Wendell Lowe here. Bus stop sounded like there was no tyre scrubbing going on there whatsoever. Coming to the penultimate corner. Running very wide there in the final corner. As we see Wendell getting out of the way for Thomas. Comes across the line. That's how you do a lap of Watkins Glen in a minute 12.433. Now catching up to the back of the 13 of Travis Massia. And Travis Goes straight in the bus stop, not wanting to get in the way at all. Lets both the leaders past him. But also allows Charles Becker to catch up to him a little bit there. We're going to go back to focusing on crashes here again. The last 5 laps we'll go back to focusing on just our leaders. As we're now going to focus on this battle for 13th a little bit. Travis Massio probably picking up a little bit of dirt and grit on his tyres from running straight through the bus stop there. Charles Becker with the run on the inside as they're heading into turn 1. Will Charles be able to get the move to stick? Looks like he will. Travis backing up just a little bit early to allow it to happen. But he used that as a ploy to get back up on the inside of Charles again. They're going to run side by side in the S's? No. Travis backs out of it, playing the smarter party there. Allowing Charles to start to pull away now on the exit of turn 4. This has been quite the grueling race right now, as we're 33 laps of 40 down. 7.5 laps to go. But now we're looking at the 86 of Gerald West in 5th position. 2.1 ahead of Matt Burgess and just behind the lapped car of league owner and operator Jaron Sanchez. Jaron pulling off to the side to allow safe passage for Gerald. Been a pretty damn good race for Gerald here. He started 19th and he's worked his way up to 5th. As we're actually going to go and have a look at the possible Hard Charger Award winner here, the 72 of Joshua Durham. Even though he's only gone 10th to 4th, he's done it with a legitimate qualifying time there. As outlined earlier, only the top 17 were eligible for the Hard Charger Award because of their qualifying times. Joshua Durham gaining 6 positions in this race. Brandon Bennett has also gained 6 positions from 13th to 7th. But Brandon Bennett would lose out in this situation on sheer finishing position alone. But in saying that, if Brandon Bennett was to get one more position, he would indeed be the leading runner there for the Hard Charger Award. As we're now having a look at the 12 of Matt Burgess. All by himself there, just behind the 86 of Gerald West, sorry. Now we've got the 5 and a 95, Caleb Finn, Mark Pentecoff. They are battling for position. These guys battling it out for 16th. Caleb has been on an absolute charge this whole race. Mark Pentecoff runs wide, gives 16th away to Caleb. Caleb almost getting a little bit loose there on the ripple strip on the exit of the final corner, managing to hold on to it and powers his way away from the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. Caleb's just been on an absolute mission this entire race ever since he got caught up and lost out there. As now we are looking at the 14 and the 13, I believe that was. 14th and 13th place cars of Charles Becker and Travis Massio. Nope, I was wrong. It was just Travis and Wendell. Travis getting around Wendell. Wendell giving the position to Travis on the track. Wendell multiple laps down. Not wanting to ruin anyone else's race. Good thinking on his part. Now that we're within the last 5 laps, we're going to go and focus on this battle for the lead, which has been starting to tighten up a little bit. Now these guys are starting to get a little bit more serious. Tommy on the last lap did a 13.186 compared to Thomas's 13.794. The fast lap of the race is also currently owned by Thomas with a 111.274. But Tommy now in striking distance of Thomas. Thomas runs wide on the penultimate corner. And now these guys are going to be battling through the final corner here. Thomas not giving up that inside. Tommy trying to get the run on the outside. They're side by side as they're heading to the line. It looks like Tommy's going to have it by about half a car at the moment, but they're heading into turn one, which is going to be Thomas's advantage. Being on the inside, Thomas locks up a little bit there, almost runs into Tommy. They both get it sorted out, and Tommy has retaken the lead of this race. We picked the perfect time to go back to these guys battling it out. And now Tommy is exactly where he wants to be, which is the front of the pack and running away with it. Thomas not wanting to give up that easily, still trying to hold on to whatever he can here. As we're getting ready to come across the line to get the three to go, Thomas runs a little bit wide on the exit of the carousel there. He's pushing his car to the absolute limits right now. Tommy still suffering from that damage on the right side of his car after coming up through the S's and clobbering the wall in between 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. Now this is Tommy's race to lose from here. All the pressure is on Tommy to not stuff up and make a mistake. Tommy just gliding the car into the bus stop. He definitely has this car running on rails right now. Just running the absolute perfect line everywhere. Who to go now? But it is pretty elementary that Tommy would win this race, being as though he literally has the highest I rating by a long way. Just having a look for some quick comparison, the closest person to him is Justin Botello at a 1578. So Tommy has the highest I rating by 3,200 I rating. That is incredible. As they're making their way into the penultimate corner for the penultimate time. Tommy Bordeaux still holding on to about a second worth of lead there. Let's see where they're at when they cross the line. As they come up to the flag stand, the flag marshal should be waving the white flag. Just over 1 second of a gap when they hit the start-finish line. But this is where Thomas has got to try and make his move. He's got to try and close up and make the pass here on this lap. If he can't do it, then that's all she wrote. It's all done and finished. This time has just gained a little bit by about 2 tenths of a second there between Tommy and Thomas. out of the carousel, smooth as silk. Looks like Tommy has this one all wrapped up. Thomas threw everything at him, including the kitchen sink, and it wasn't enough as they're coming out of the final corner for the final time, making the run up to the start-finish line. Tommy Bordeaux, your winner here at Watkins Glen. Thomas Harmon, P2. Looks like we are going to have the 21 of Brian Chambliss cross the line in third. And your hard charger for the race, as long as nothing happens on this final lap, is definitely going to be the 72 of Joshua Durham. Alright guys, with all that information, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have some driver interviews. Alrighty guys, we are back down here and we're going to reveal the Hard Charger Award, and today's Hard Charger is also one of the rookies to the league, and it's absolutely incredible that he's made it this far already in the short time that he's been with us. We are of course talking to the 72 of Joshua Durham. Josh, what an incredible drive, man. 10th to 4th in a fairly hectic race to begin with a standing start. What's your take on the race and your experience in the league so far?
Yeah, it was a good race. Like the car actually was handling a lot better than I thought it would. It was a lot of fun. There was a hairy moment where I thought I was gonna get taken out in probably like the first 10 laps, and I lucked out just a little bit of side damage. Someone got loose in front of me and kind of come back and just tagged me a little bit. So I was pleasantly surprised tonight. It was a good run. Um, it's only my second start with you guys. I didn't make it last week, so I had a rough go of the first race, so it feels good to have a top five.
Well, man, it's absolutely awesome to see you running this high already, and especially with being on the road course too. I know a lot of NASCAR guys aren't too adept with having a good run on the road courses, but the entire league actually surprised me today with how well everyone drove today.
Yeah, I agree, man. That it was fun. I was like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect. I'm not real great at road racing myself, so I'm real happy with how I finished.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you'd like to thank for giving you a hand here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my man Thomas Harmon. He's always good at giving advice if you ask. He's a good guy. He's real fast, obviously too. He's always up in the front in every race I've been in with him. So I'd like to thank him tonight for all the help and introducing me to this league too. So
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on not only P4 but the hard charger as well. You are now in the draw for $5 in iRacing credits at the end of the season, provided by Speedway Memes.
awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, guys. So that was the 72 of Joshua Durham, our hard charger and fourth place finisher here tonight. Now, moving right along now. We are going to go and talk to our third place getter, Brian Chambliss. Brian, sorry, I must have cut you off mid sentence there in the waiting room. Congratulations, P3, mate.
Yeah, I don't know how I ended up there because I don't feel like I was a third place car, but I won't argue with it.
Well, we were just talking to Joshua Durham and we are saying it was very interesting right at the very start there. Standing start opposed to the rolling start here for Watkins as a little bit of a curveball thrown to you guys by Jaron. What was your take on that and the race as a whole?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of threw us for a loop there, but I mean, it is what it is. We all got to deal with the same thing, so you just gotta buckle up and take what you got. Luckily, there I was able to gain a ton of spots there in that first lap. That's basically I started eighth and got up to third on the first lap and was pretty much there the entire race, other than the pit cycle. I wasn't really honestly it was kind of boring because I wasn't racing anybody. They were 10 seconds ahead of me and 12 seconds behind me pretty much the whole race. So all it was me. Just I was like, all right, just keep the thing on the hard stuff, and we should be all right here. So, but yeah, I benefited from that start there. So
Now let's talk really quickly, because you just brought it up there about being yourself on a road course for 40 laps. That takes a lot of mental strength to not make a mistake there. Did you have any strategies to try and keep yourself on the task at hand?
I mean, I just was trying to make sure that I was hitting my marks out there, not overdriving stuff, trying to keep the wheel hop down. I knew I had some time behind me, so if I were to make a mistake, I knew that I had that buffer there and just brush it off and keep going and try to keep hitting your marks. And luckily, I was able to stay ahead of those guys behind me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch the ones in front, but I don't know if anything would have caught those two guys. They're pretty darn fast.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and thank the league and all the drivers for coming out. This league's a lot of fun, and um, Jaron does a great job. I also like to thank you for putting on this broadcast, so we can go back and watch it later on, either make fun of ourselves or laugh about some stuff. And thank my wife for putting up with this hobby of mine that I do.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much, man. Congratulations on P3 again. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep, hopefully we'll be talking again.
Alrighty, guys, so that was the 21 of Brian Chambliss, today's third place getter. Having a bit of a boring race, but that's just the way it goes sometimes here at road courses. Coming up next, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the reigning champion. We're talking, of course, to our second place getter, the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Thomas, great battle between you and Tommy there for a lot of the race, and benefiting from a couple of early mistakes from some guys early on. How was the race from your perspective?
Nerve wracking. I didn't expect to run up front, and certainly didn't expect to be anywhere near close to Tommy at the end of this thing. Um, it was fun. Race was fun. Unfortunate what happened to Chris and Derek at the bus stop on lap one there, but um, they're going hard for it, and those kind of things.
Now let's talk about the very start for a second here. Standing start to throw everyone for a little bit of a loop. How did you manage yourself after you figured out that it wasn't going to be a rolling start?
I just prayed that I didn't spin them and didn't try to push it off the line, and I didn't realize these things were so sluggish to take off with to begin with. But it was interesting. I didn't really panic, but it was.
All right, man. Now let's talk about the epic battle between yourself and Tommy there. It looked like early on Tommy was saving his tires in that first stint, and you pulled away from him a bit, but then he started to come back at you. Did you think in the second split that you're gonna start saving your tires a little bit, so you might have had something to fight Tommy with there for the end of the race?
I did. I started taking it a little bit easier through the corners, hoping to have something for him, but I slid it a couple times, got the tires hot with 5 and 6 to go, and that allowed him to catch up in a heartbeat, and then just get beside me and destroy me from that point on. But with him coming late run like that, and a few of the lap cars holding me up there, cost me about a second's worth of time. I knew I was gonna have to fight, and I'd kind of reserved myself to finishing second at that point. I just hoped to keep a 0x intact, but uh, clipped the apron, or not the apron, the grass going through the bus stop with about 7 to go, and I knew it was over at that point.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you up in the booth for broadcasting it to the fans, and Jaron for putting on the league and dealing with all the crap, and all the other admins that help him out, and to the fans that come out and watch each week, and to Tommy for pushing me and I guess essentially letting me lead for about 30 laps.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on P2, and we look forward to seeing you again next week at Talladega.
Yep, I'll be there.
Alright, guys. So that was the 38 of Thomas Harmon, today's second place getter, and a very good point scoring day for Thomas indeed. But now we move on to the two-time champion of the Output Racing League in seasons 1 and 2. You guys only know of season 2, but season 1 he was a very dominant force as well, and he's continuing on the trend of being a bit of a road course ringer here with having his 3K higher than everyone else I rating. Of course, we're talking about today's winner, Tommy Bordeaux. Tommy,
How's it? Oh, there.
incredible race, mate. Now, you wouldn't be a stranger to a standing start, but a standing start in the NASCARs must be a little bit out of the ordinary compared to some of the other road stuff that you might do. Talk us a little bit about how much it would differ, say, between this and anything else on road that you race.
Boy, Corey. First of all, let me just congratulate Thomas on a fantastic race. I had a lot of fun tonight. It's close the whole way through, and also clean and fair, and I love that. But yeah, the standing starts are something that was a little unexpected, but I'm not a stranger to it at all. Mostly, I race the Spec Racer Ford online these days, so to me, it's just kind of a normal thing. And I was got a great start off. It got a really good advantage, and then obviously all the mess that happened in the chicane. Wound up profiting from that and ending up with the lead for a bit there. So it's an interesting start, a little bit different, but I enjoyed it. I definitely did.
Now, one thing that we noticed in that first stint was you backed up a bit and essentially just let Thomas have the lead in that first stint while you were saving your tires. Now, he said that he started to save his tyres in the second stint to try and have something to fight you with late in the race there. But it looked like you were saving your tyres just a little bit more than he was. Was that a little bit of the attack that was going on there?
Well, I figured what I learned from the first run was during the middle of the run on kind of semi-worn tires, I couldn't drive the thing. I wasn't comfortable with the handle on it at all, and it's kind of all over the place, really. But when we got late in the run, even from a 2 second gap, I was able to close it to be right on his bumper coming into the pits, and so I took that into the next run there, knowing if I stay, I don't have to stay on his bumper, but if I'm close enough, I can be there for the end and hopefully apply some pressure. And that's exactly what happened. It was just a matter of driving within myself and not making any big mistakes and just keeping close enough. And boy, that's exactly what happened. I was able to take advantage of that and drive away at the end.
Now let's go back to the pit stop here real quick. Um, Now Thomas got in and out of the pit stop much faster than you. I think there might have been about half a second in it by the time both of you came out of the pits. What happened on pit road to accentuate such a gap?
I'm not the best pitter. I have a lot of problems with overshooting my stall. So to make sure I wouldn't do that, I kind of went really slow in, and it's whatever. I figured if I'm good enough, it's okay. I'll make it up on track. I'd rather take it easy on pit road and not make a mistake there. Give up a little bit of time there if I can make sure I don't lose a lot on track. So it's one of those things. Wound up okay in the end, so it's not a here or there for me.
Alrighty. Now the big question that I'm sure is on most people's minds right now: are you going to position yourself for a third title here?
Sure, I don't see why not. The competition this year is probably the closest it's ever been, the most competitive it's ever been in this league. But with the chase now, that kind of shakes things up. And these wins now are nice, but really, as long as you're in the top 12, what's going to matter the most is those final, I believe, 5 races. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. We don't have a road course in the final 5. We also don't have any Bristol, so I think it's going to be a very even, competitive playing field, and we'll just have to see who winds up on top at the end of it.
All right, awesome, man. Now, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, I got to give a shout out to Jaron for putting on this league. You for broadcasting, as always, man. It's great to have you here. Thomas for a fantastic race. It was fun through and through. And of course, I got to give a shout out to all my online racing friends: Davey Hazard, Joseph Weaver, Joey Fulford, Michael Murata, all the lads from Fast Racing League. And of course, it wouldn't be an interview if I didn't shout out the greatest website on the internet, TommyBordeaux.com. That's TommyBordeaux.com. It's the best website on the internet. Go check it out right now. Also, a little shout out to Cal Poly Racing. And of course, everyone else who is tuned in tonight to watch this spectacle of automotive endurance unfold before their eyes. Thank you very much for watching and supporting the league.
All right, man. Now, one thing that I want to say to you before I let you go, well, one thing I want to ask you is, why didn't you come in for your interview the other week?
um, so I kind of forgot that that these are a thing for the top 3. Yeah, I wasn't on Discord and I completely lost track of what was going on. I just kind of exited the race. It's been a while since I've had an interview, so it was like, oh gee. But I'm glad I could make this.
I'm glad you can too, man. Congratulations on your win again, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Talladega, hopefully for another interview that you won't miss.
I sure hope so. Thank you very much, Corey.
Alrighty, guys, so that was the owner and two-time previous champion, Tommy Bordeaux, showing off his dominance here at another road course again. Alright, guys, this is going to end out this round of the Output Racing League. As I mentioned earlier, if you're watching this on the YouTube side of things, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, don't forget to give this channel a follow. All the support you guys give both channels will definitely help out. You can catch the replay tomorrow over on my personal channel, Corey Has No Life 13. You can also catch the replay right here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel on Saturday morning Australian time or Friday night USA time. And until next week, hope you guys have a good week, and we'll see you guys next time.